Hello, it's me, Jess. Welcome to my channel. I'm here with another channeled message. This is a specific message. It might resonate with you, it might not. All right, so I am zeroing in here on a very tricky masculine energy. This is a very sneaky guy. And what's unfortunate is I feel like you're actually soulmates with this masculine, or at least you were in the past. I feel like your mind has changed around about that. I feel like you're moving away from this masculine energy, but I'm not entirely sure where you're at here on the timeline. But there's definitely messages that are coming through here that are spanning the 3D like events that are going on here and the energetic undercurrent that is feeding those events from the spirit side of things, coming from past lives and kind of old karmic patterns that you can still feel the remnants of that energy that's also kind of playing out here, because like I said, it's a very sneaky guy. Now, you are soulmates and there's definitely past life energy here, and I actually feel like this pattern between the two of you of him being a backbiter, him being a betrayer, him being very sneaky, and he doesn't call himself sneaky in his mind. He calls himself strategic, and he really thinks he can't lose. This man has a lot of confidence in his plan here. Like there's something here about feeling like he cannot lose. But this pattern here of him betraying you was set in motion, I want to say like 3 or 4 lifetimes ago, where he kind of figured out that he could try and sneak around and then he could have his cake and eat it too. And at some point in his soul's journey, that became more important to him than spiritual growth or being good to soulmate energies, not just to you, but to other soulmates that are in his life here as well. And he started to associate with betrayers, and he's become one himself, and he's in a very karmic soul group, like a very karmic group of friends, very karmic. It's Gemini energy that is karmic all around him. So this involves siblings and friends and maybe even children. He may have karmas he needs to repay to children, but then he's in these extremely karmic situations, which makes that even more difficult, right? So there's a lot going on here with this masculine, but it wasn't always that way. And I feel like you kind of, the remnants of who he was to you or is to you on a soul level kind of sticks with you, and it's causing you confusion. And I think what's painful is on an energetic level, there's almost a knowing of that. There's almost a, because this masculine likes to keep you where he wants you, is where I'm getting, wants to keep you in the lurch, wants to keep you in a blind spot, and is very strategic about the ways in which he goes about doing that. So I feel like in the past, and for some of this is going on currently, but there's this remnant, this holdover from past lives, but there's a sense of you being betrayed and him wanting to keep you bound and keep you in your mind and feeling really insecure on a mental level. Maybe about who he is sleeping with, or whether or not there's some kind of Ace of Wands passionate new beginning that's coming back around. He wants to keep you in that kind of tumultuous, insecure kind of space, and he wants to weaponize that and use that to his advantage, but he does not want to be seen doing it. And the way that he thinks he's not going to be seen doing it is there's 3 people between you and him. These 3 people he trusts will not tell you the truth that they know, the truth about him that they may know, the truth about some kind of sneaky energy or third-party situation. And he trusts that these people will maybe betray you in a way that you don't understand, or that they will continue to reflect a version of you that makes you feel insecure. So he kind of trusts that these people will be mean to you or not treat you like the child of God that you are, basically. Their treatment, there's a reflection here. That's what he trusts, and he trusts that that's going to be a wall. So it is a betrayal coming from him, but he thinks that you will associate that betrayal energy with these 3 other people. And I think that may have been what's gone on here in the past. So there's like a layer between you and him. And on a karmic level, I think what you need to understand is you've kind of been surrounded here by a negative energy, and this does have to do with a friend group. I'm seeing kind of 5 people behind you that have been neutralized. These are people that would come to your aid, but you have karmics around you that are maybe spreading lies or gossip, that are trying to take it past at you or something. And so these are people that kind of don't know what to think. So they're not coming to your aid, or they're not standing up for you because they kind of feel like they can't win. They would protect you or stand up for you, but they feel like they would be challenged, or they don't feel like they have the truth in the situation. So those people that are actually good people and good friends, they've been neutralized. But then, like I said, there's these other three people. There's two of them that seem like lock arm, but then there's one off to the side here. There's one that maybe you interface with more than the others here. But and these three people are active betrayers, and he's aligned with them, but he doesn't think you see that. He thinks he's maneuvering around here and that you kind of can't see. Now, what he's trying to prevent you from seeing is some kind of strategic plan. And I think this masculine really hit you with a lot of confidence. Like I was saying before, I feel like he's a confidence artist. I think when you think about him and his personality and his energy, you think about that solar plexus chakra energy. You probably think about him being a confident person. You think about his personality. I'm getting that strong like sun energy. So there could have been a strong romantic energy between the two of you, playful energy, children. But I don't think you have children between the two of you. There could be that energy from past lives, but it's betrayer energy. And I think you might have felt like kids, together, or just kind of goofing off or having, conversations here between the two of you. But this masculine is two-faced. And so are these friends. So this masculine has placed strategically a lot of two-faced energy around you. That's important for you to know on a soul level, because you continuing to being connected to this masculine's energy puts you at risk. It puts you at risk here. So when he moves away from you and he thinks he's put you in a weakened position, and he finds that to be a wish fulfillment, he thinks that's strategically advantageous to him. But he's left you wide open here. There is some kind of horrible person. And this person, it maybe trophies you or wants to collect trophies. They want to offer you something. They want some kind of new beginning here. They might want to like transfer you, like change of place, change of location in order to maybe like bind you or trap you here, like left you open to some very like nefarious energies here, and went and ran off. Now again, he is two-faced here himself, hangs out with a bunch of two-faced people. That's all fine and good with him. Part of his two-faced nature that starts with his personality is he presents very confident, like I just said, but he is deeply insecure. And I think this has to do with money. It might have to do with his position. It might have to do with not having as much to offer as he thinks he should have. There's a real anxiety here about the Pentacles energy. So it could be a job, it could be money, it could be opportunity. I think he's been trying to work on some kind of new beginning, like financially or something, and he's been putting his focus on it, but not much has really happened, and he is getting kind of discouraged here. So that's also a part of this kind of crossroads experience that you are at here with this masculine. And I call it a crossroads because he thinks strategically he can keep a double life. Essentially, he can compartmentalize. He can leave you in this certain state and go off and do something else, and that he's going to keep it compartmentalized. And I'm hearing like what you don't know like won't affect his plan, or because I almost want to say like what you don't know won't hurt you, but it's selfish than that. I mean, this masculine's completely blocked off at the heart space here because he has a lot of love for you, love that he's not tapped into, and he can't, because you're his soulmate. And again, when he fell in a past life, it's like he had to block off from his heart, and he didn't want to see. He didn't want to see the damage that he did. So I think he went and tried to compartmentalize and go move away and like live his life in a different location. I think that might be repeating, like, or kind of away from you and distract himself with his schemes or whatever. And I think that might be playing out here in this lifetime. But so he's got this situation where he feels like you're blocked off and you don't see him betraying you. He's being very sneaky about a relationship. And I think he wants to offer his Ace of Cups here to somebody here from his past. What's crazy is he wants to offer you his Ace of Cups, but he doesn't want to offer you his Ace of Cups. He doesn't want you to see that. He wants to strategize around instead. So again, crazy karmic energy here. But instead, he wants to go offer his Ace of Cups here, not in any real way, in a strategic way, to somebody here from his past. And the truth about why something ended is because it's unhealthy, it's abusive. There's something sneaky, strategic about it. There's betrayer energy here, and there's unequal give and take. For some, there's even an exchange of money involved in a schmegdual relationship between these two. Or there was money exchanged to keep the truth of maybe a pregnancy a secret, or the truth about why something ended a secret. There could have been an exchange of money here, maybe to prevent something legal from happening. But again, this masculine feels he can't lose in going back to whatever this situation was. And it's showing up as scorpionic to me. So there is something here about this being a very negative situation that he has to pull himself out of. So he might have realized that here in the past. But this seems to me to be a place where he thinks he can go in order to get money, or in order to transform, or maybe his like status or something here like that. Maybe he feels he has a truth, a hidden truth that he can leverage in order to gain some kind of money or room and board, or something here like that, because he's very anxious. Like I said, he's anxious about what's to do with his like financial situation. What's ironic, and the reason this is a spiritual test, and it goes straight to the heart of things, which he refuses to acknowledge. He's so blocked off at the heart space here. But there is a spiritual test that's still unfolding, even though he refuses to open up in that heart space, is that this new beginning, I feel like we get this energy a lot, but it's like the builder versus the saboteur. So there's that question on his heart space. Does he want to, I mean, obviously he's in some crazy saboteur energy. So does he want to keep doing that, keep building in the saboteur energy, which will have his energy fallen, and he's going to end up getting betrayed. There's going to be a major turnaround in this situation, karmically. Or does he want to be the builder? So he has to choose who he wants to be first and foremost. And that energy is going to align him with a partner that is either his builder partner or his saboteur partner. And I feel like you are his builder partner in this, because what's ironic is that I can see this masculine, he might be working on something like away from certain things, because he wants a new beginning in the physical. He wants a new beginning financially. He might have an idea or something here that he's like working on, trying to get off the ground here, but he is feeling discouraged. He could have sunk a lot of money into this. There could be debt that's like kind of involved. I don't know. He just doesn't feel like it's paying off. But the crazy thing is that you are the key. I feel like you are the key, because I feel he's trying so hard for you not to see him in this energy, for you not to see him as somebody who's maybe financially struggling, or that something's not like coming up for him. But he needs to be honest. He needs to be vulnerable, because you're his real partner. You're his soulmate partner. So you're going to love him for him. Instead, he wants to go play a little game with people who couldn't give a rat's ass about him. And he's going to learn that the hard way. But you actually do. And he doesn't even give you the chance to like actually love him for him, and to show him that you want to be a partner, and that you believe in building things together, and that you don't think less of him because he's in a difficult situation financially. I also think you're going to walk right into whatever it is that he's been working on, or that he's been struggling with, and you're going to notice that he's looking at the wrong thing, and that he's been focused on the wrong thing, and because he's been zeroed in on that he's not noticing there is another Ace of Pentacles that's like literally right behind him, and he just needs to see that and pick it up. And it's like, here, no, if you do it with this one, it's actually going to work, and it is actually going to work, and that is what is going to turn things around. And I feel like that's actually leading to the Three of Pentacles energy here between the two of you, which is very auspicious energy. It is the classic kind of teamwork and cooperation card, and I feel like you may well build something together. I mean, it could be a life and a partnership. It's very stable, whatever it is, but whatever you build, you're going to build it. It's going to be in the realm of Pentacles. It's that slow, steady wins the race. You're going to have an actual solid foundation. That foundation will belong to the two of you. I feel like the two of you are the necessary kind of concrete foundational ingredients. And I also feel like you are somehow the key to a third energy kind of coming in here that is also very substantial. So it could be that you know somebody that is very trustworthy and very reliable, and has like another, I don't know, they have another skill set that you guys can all use to combine. I feel like this third energy, it's like lifelong friend energy to this masculine, or like lifelong partnership energy to this masculine. And it's like very good karmas, or it's your personality and your presence and how the two of you present together forms a relationship here with this very auspicious third person. And it's like the two of your energies have to be together in order for this third person to kind of enter the scene or want to work with this masculine or something. And that is unlocking that Three of Pentacles energy. And the Three of Pentacles for me, they're that card classically represents somebody building in like a sanctuary. So there's always kind of an element of like building with the divine that is kind of coming through. So it's cooperating with the divine plan, and because of that, burning quite a bit of karma, able to reach heights that you couldn't otherwise do alone. And that auspicious energy really is coming through the Mars energy. For some of you, there could be a sun here that might come through the two of you. That's a very auspicious energy. It's a gift. This sun would be kind of a King of Wands character, but this is a very auspicious King of Wands energy. This is like a natural born leader. So if you built like a business, this would be, I'm strongly getting like a Mars energy. So it could be a son or just a child that's very strongly skillful in something because you've been cooperating with the divine plan. That can then, I just heard flagship. Yeah, and I just got a high-pitched ringing in my left ear. So it could be a high vibrational feminine energy that's very skillful in a certain way as well. That could potentially come through, but that's going to really have roots, and it's going to move you away from difficult times and also difficult patterns within the two of you. This is why this is like very blessed and very divinely guided. It's busting up this negative karma. It's restoring your soulmate connection. It restores this masculine back to his energy. It clears up your anxiety that he intentionally put there when he split away from you in whatever traumatic way he did. And it was a trauma for his soul. His aura remembers this and carries this, and he's deeply ashamed of himself whenever he can become aware of that. And he's weakened. It's weakened his energy. So again, that also is why he's so weak on the physical, I feel, as well, because he believed the wrong people. His energy fell. He became a betrayer. He put his faith in the ego energy, his ego or somebody else's ego here, rather than like the spiritual energy. So it's weakened him on the physical, and it's put you in a state of like kind of anxiety, and it may have surrounded you with energies that feed that. Again, that was his intention in the past. He was encouraged to do that. And that may have played out again in this lifetime. So this has now become a negative pattern that spirit is trying to break. So I feel like you've been disrespected, like in this group for sure, and it's playing on your mind, or at least like this is the pattern from previous lives, and you are moving away from that, and you're having some kind of rebirth energy, and it's quick results, and it's leadership energy, and it's dharma energy, and it's all like beautiful and wonderful and good. That was the path, I feel like, maybe not taken by this masculine. Instead, he wanted to offer something here to somebody here from his past that he perhaps did work very hard to get away from this person, because he recognized that it was abusive. He recognized that it was unequal give and take. He recognized the truth of some kind of unfair treatment here, or that it was morally bankrupt, because for some of you, there's like a secret here between the two of them, or there's like something that's very immoral that he was maybe pretending, and he's leaving himself out in the cold, and I don't know, it's a very negative situation, and perhaps him getting out of that situation in the past is what even aligned him with your energy and this crossroads, like this ability to choose a path back to the light, like even to begin with. But then he started to feel anxious about like his status at a job, or like I said, all his money and whatever, and instead of being vulnerable and opening himself up to love, opening himself up to you, to be seen for exactly who he is, he wanted to strategize, and he wanted to go back. So he thinks he can get some kind of money here out of this situation. But whatever this was, I feel like I'm seeing the Queen of Cups is over here, okay? But this is like a negative, shadowy Queen of Cups, because I'm seeing her cup, which notoriously is the only cup with a lid on it, but I'm seeing it like covered in shadows, and it's got those two like very pointy like handles on it that actually are like a very dark kind of, it's looking ominous to me, and I'm hearing Ark of the Covenant, and that is really standing out, because you're not supposed to look into the Ark of the Covenant. So instead of this being a healthy Queen of Cups, which I think maybe represents your energy, the Queen of Cups does not, that could be your karmic energy, that you are learning how to be this Queen of Cups, where your emotions are not to be played with, and you are self-contained in regards of your emotional space, that I think you've made a lot of progress on. But the Ark of the Covenant, you were not supposed to like look at it, or you weren't supposed to touch it or something, right? But I'm hearing like arc, like story arc, this like negative karmic story arc of the covenant. Covenant is a binding kind of capacity here. And this Queen of Cups energy, it's a very traditional kind of energy. It's a very and I think this masculine was given the impression that this was a very like auspicious kind of path, or again, it's this energy of like, I can't lose. But he's thinking that because this masculine is the embodiment of like that busted root chakra energy that skips all the other chakras, right? It's not going through a purification process. It's not becoming whole. It's not confronting obstacles. Instead, it just links up to the mind. So the mind has become all powerful here. The mind has not recognized its own fallibility, and that it does not know all things. The mind is not omnipotent, try as it thinks it is. And the mind is not able to keep itself in check that way when he has not come up through the other chakras to reach that crown chakra energy. So he's completely cut off from his intuition. He's completely cut off from his heart. in terms of the movements that he is making. And so there's some real folly going on in this situation. There's some real, I want to say the word idiocy that's playing out here, because this is kind of obvious that this is not an auspicious energy, that there is a lot of danger, that he is mixing with betrayer energy. And the betrayer energy that he is mixing with is far greater than his own, because he is straddling kind of both of these worlds. You know, he thinks he can control it. So again, a lot of folly, a lot of hubris, a lot of ignorance, a lot of false self-confidence. So he just thinks, well, I can kind of keep this the way that I need to keep it. I can play it the way I need to play it. But these people that he's mixing with, they have no qualms about throwing people over or being much more strategic. Or I'm hearing the word blackmail, so it could be this kind of, maybe there's secretive energy and truth energy that they kind of use over here, between all of them, him and this other partner. But again, it looks like whatever money he thinks he can have access to here, it's scorpionic money, so it's other people's money, and it's money after marriage. So I don't know if this is a marriage he's involved in, and he thinks, oh, I'm going to get access to this money after marriage, or if he's involved with a person who profited financially by involving with somebody that gives them money, like, or has money in some way. But he wants to offer his cup of love to this like betrayer person. And it's more than just a person here, because we've got Gemini energy on both sides. So if he chooses to go down that soulmate path, it's all the Gemini things: siblings, friends, people you see around you day to day, and have conversations with, children. All that becomes kind of soulmate energy. But we've got a lot of karmic energy, and he's got to see the truth about some kind of unequal give and take energy, somebody pretending to be this born sexy yesterday, this really stupid kind of daft energy, but is very strategic behind the scenes, in order to keep them in a subordinate position. And what's ironic is that this masculine went back here to try to avoid his anxiety about a job or money, or his daily routine, which might involve like where he's going to live or something like that. And he's walking right into this Ark of the Covenant energy, because I see this Shadow Queen of Cups trying to get him to touch this Ark of the Covenant, and I'm seeing a child, like a little child, kind of like coming out of this. So it's maybe wanting to bind this masculine in some kind of traditional arrangement with like a child or something like very traditional. He's going to end up getting betrayed. The script is going to flip, because there's more variables that he doesn't know about, and his mind just, he's so busy strategizing maybe around you, trying to hide what he's trying to hide from everybody, that he's not focused on the truth of the situation, and he's not focused on the nature of the people that he's involved with and what they might be hiding from him. And ironically, he's going to realize that this is a very unfair situation. Any money that he thinks he's going to get doesn't actually belong to him. And he might be put in a subordinate position in order to receive it, something like that. And he's right back where he started, where now he's got this, again, anxiety around his daily routine, around his money, around his job situation. It's still maintaining and even feeding that split soul energy where he presents like he's very confident, but actually he feels very insecure about himself, because he's not dealing with it at the root. Because just like any ego death, because this is his ego, just like any ego death, he feels like he's going to be annihilated if he confronts that. And I think he needed to confront it with you. He needed to not try to strategize. He needed to not, I think he wanted to present in a certain way to you, like an emperor energy. And he had a whole plan about how he was going to kind of come back around and do that. But his plan, I just heard, the best laid schemes of mice and men often go awry. Now, the other thing is that I think this was born of some kind of betrayal. There's betrayal energy over here with whatever he did. And he is forever, and his partner is forever trying to hide. Maybe they're having money problems now. Because, yeah, especially if he was messing around with somebody who got their money from somebody else. There could have been a prenup here. This person may have cut this other person off. I don't know. I feel like there could be money problems again. Again, it feels like they're right back to where they started, because Spirit is trying to kind of muscle them around a bit to let them know, like, I'm the boss here. I know everything here. You don't. You play with me, or you lose. Like, that's basically what Spirit's saying. Not because Spirit is trying to control. It's just the truth of it. It's just this masculine is not in charge. Okay, this masculine is not the biggest energy in the room. It's hubris. It's ego. It's and so he's just having to live out all of the way his folly, like all of his schemes, like not kind of coming to fruition, because the answer is being who he really is, coming clean, being vulnerable, connecting with his heart space. Because I think he did want to offer you this Ace of Cups in the past. He didn't want you to see that. He didn't want to be vulnerable. He didn't want to bring peace into the situation. He wanted to strategize. It was like his wish fulfillment to have you in this kind of subordinate, very insecure position. It was, and it's really a shame. So he's trying to, maybe him and his partner, they're trying to hide a moral bankruptcy that's like an immorality. They may have been thrown out of like a church or something because of the way that they got together or how they handled themselves. Or just, there's a defending of this like betrayal kind of energy, or trying to keep people from seeing that in order to kind of piece certain things together here. And this might involve a child, I don't know. But I feel like this masculine came back around to your space. And they came back around to your space. They were in the Page of Pentacles energy. So again, this could be referencing a child, and they're very anxious about the day-to-day of this child, or and I feel like they are kind of in a better way with the Page of Pentacles. They might have a little bit more confidence about themselves, but they're still at the beginning of some kind of journey here. And they were waiting for their ships to come in with you, I think. And their ships, I think they wanted you to send them a message that you were down and out, or that you missed them, or that you wanted them, or that, I don't know, they really thought that they had something like figured out here. And they looked in and you were fine. You were completely fine. You were like in this Queen of Pentacles energy because you flipped the script on this. I think whatever happened here, like it might have worked, but it might have worked for just like a second, where you were feeling insecure and you were feeling the effects of all these negative people, that this masculine and the negative energy and people keeping secrets and stuff. You probably did feel that, but I think you did suss something here. You did kind of, I think this has built your intuition. You figured out the truth somehow, but it doesn't feel direct, but it does feel like you did actually have the truth, and you responded accordingly, because I think that you put up your defenses when it came to this masculine. That may have shocked him here as well. And also that could have been why he put this whole plan into motion, because he was like, well, that didn't work. Let me just make her afraid of who I'm sleeping with, make her afraid that a new beginning is not coming, and then let me enact my crazy plan here. But you put up your defenses, and you didn't move, and you guarded your heart. And even your thoughts, you might not have thought about this masculine for a while. Maybe he popped back up on your radar somehow here. But he did leave you around some very negative people. But your wish fulfillment was to have a new beginning here with the Ace of Pentacles. And because you're the builder, you've always been the builder here. You want stability. You don't mind starting small, but you just want it to be yours, and you want it to have strong boundaries. I feel like I'm describing, you don't mind that he doesn't have much to offer, as long as he's yours and as long as he has strong boundaries, which neither of those were the case in the past. And again, because you are soulmates with this masculine, I think that would have confused you here, because that was your wish fulfillment, is to just have a new beginning and to be safe with him, and to build together. But I just feel like you had to realize that it was just not on the table. He's not in that energy. He's not that guy anymore. He's really fallen in his energy, and he was trying to dick you around, and he was trying to play some games with you, and he did partner up with enemies of yours, and he put some very negative people around you, where I just heard a real man would have been right in between them. I just saw, and you actually, okay, because I am getting this, I think there may be a guy like this coming in, who's actually, could be a fire sign. I'm seeing the King of Wands, very confident in himself, leadership oriented, very self-assured. Maybe it's also been disrespected in the past, but I'm also seeing the King of Swords. I'm seeing the hawk specifically, the hawk emblem. So I do feel like you have this energy coming in. If it's not going to, I think this masculine had an opportunity to be that, but if he's not going to be that, so now you've got this new wish fulfillment that he couldn't see. You had this dream that started blooming in you of moving away from being disrespected, because this backfired on him, where he left you. I think he put 3 people around you. He knew these 3 people were negative. He should have opposed it. I keep hearing that, like a real man. Might be this grandfather figure I always get that kind of snarls through his teeth at this masculine. I just can't believe this weak ass sauce. That's really how it comes through. We don't raise men like that in this family. No, we don't. They puff out their chest. They get it done. They get it done. Sorry, this is this is going off the rails. Anyways, he did not, in fact, protect you. You tried to use that as an advantage. So he just kind of left you wide open to negativity, right? And what it blossomed in you is a new dream a dream where you would be cared for and safe. And again, maybe you didn't even want much, like on the material. So this could just, like you didn't really dream of having like luxuries or anything. You dreamed of being safe, and you dreamed of being secure and having a solid foundation and being respected, and having a man around, if at all, that would tend that and be that kind of soft place. And that's what I feel like you're manifesting. And Spirit has every intention of granting your wish here. You are going to get a wish fulfillment here. It's going to start off as the Ace of Pentacles, and it's going to, you do have a charlatan that is around, and I feel like this masculine sees this guy, and this guy's going to betray you, and you don't see it coming, and he does, and it's just pissing me off. But he's just going to move away from it. Maybe he feels like he can, I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with him. He sucks. Anyways, you are after that. So just, I'm trying to let you know to be wary, because you do have this energy kind of lurking. But having marinated in this, I think you're over it. I think you're just really over it, because this goes back to past lives, but it is this masculine energy that's kind of surrounded you with this, or just allowed it to go on. And that's why you've been kind of wrapped up and not been respected for, I don't know, it's very tied energetically to his energy and the link that you have with him, where all these negative karmics have cropped up here because he's split. So the masculine energy on a soul level provides an energetic protective barrier. This masculine is split. And so he's not functioning in that regard. And so it's allowed all these negative karmic soul two-faced people to creep up around you, and he is not opposing them at all. So you, like I said, a new dream blooms in you where you just want a new beginning. You want to change a pace, change a place. You might want to up and move somewhere. And you just, again, you want to feel safe. And I really feel like Spirit's going to hand you this on a silver platter and keep you safe. And it's happening when you start to realize that you need to protect your own energy. And you're stepping up and you're doing that. And you're putting up energetic blocks and boundaries to your world. Like, this masculine cannot just come back into your world, because you're very discerning now, I think. And this surprised this masculine. He was just really not expecting to see that. He was expecting you to be right where he left you. He was expecting you to be insecure. He was expecting you to be alone. He was expecting you to have a negative self-image. He was waiting for this negativity to kind of soften you up, so that was his wish fulfillment, so he could come back in and give you this Ace of Pentacles. And this Ace of Pentacles is showing up in my mind as less than you deserve. So again, this might have to do with this double life situation where he thinks he can go get some money over here from whoever this is that he thinks he's smarter than, and he is absolutely not. And he is thinking he's going to come over here and give you this Ace of Pentacles, this small version, this small little cottage, this small whatever, and then offer you his wand, basically. And that you're just going to be overjoyed because you've been sitting in so much shit. So this man was perfectly okay letting you just stew in a bunch of shit. That's who he is. And I feel like you got to see this clearly. And I think it's a shame, because I don't think it's always been who he is. But you have to deal with the reality of him now. He's a fallen masculine, is what this is. He's extremely karmic. And I think he has to face this. And that's what's kind of playing out. Because I think when he looks over into your space, he may see you have moved on with someone else in a Two of Cups kind of fashion. For most of you, I think this is a relationship. Again, I'm seeing that strong King of Swords energy, and I'm hearing the screech of like the hawk energy. Very protective of your boundaries. Very cutting. Like this masculine, it's probably going to heal you, because this masculine is going to have no qualms, just being short, sweet, and to the point, and telling people exactly where they can go if they want to have a problem with you. This masculine will just cut it off, or he's just the protector you need. And but if not, then I feel like this might be a friendship here, but you're going to go on a journey like of your own, and it's Knight of Pentacles, so it is kind of this slow and steady wins the race. And all of this is because you went hermit mode. Like whenever this happened, I don't know what this masculine thought that you were going to do, just kind of sit there and be anxious. But I think you thrived in hermit mode. You went inside, you sorted yourself out, you got the answers that you seek, and you had a new guiding light. And this new dream kind of blossomed in you. And then you started to manifest. Because I'm getting you kind of wanting a passionate new beginning. And because you've done a lot of clearing out within yourself in regards of this relationship, you're manifesting from a very pure note, is what I'm hearing, like a very high vibrational place. You're waiting for your ships to come in, and you're going to have like some kind of opportunity, and you're going to grow a lot in whatever that is. Some of you have like an actual, like a job offer, or somebody's going to offer you to move in with them, somebody that you trust and somebody that you know and that feels it all checks out, like in terms of your safety, and you're growing in your strength. And I think he's made to see this, because remember, he's going to pop his head in and you're just going to be so at peace. You're going to have given yourself way more than he ever intended to give you, and you're going to everything's going to be thriving around you. And I think for some of you, he might even see his wish fulfillment, something that he wished for. I just heard on your arm, or you embodying that, like, or some kind of dream that, because he's been so busy scheming around, and he is just definitely, he's not tending to his heart space at all. So this is a man who doesn't even know what he wants. He doesn't even have his own vision. I feel like he's just scrambling around to get like little scraps of scorpionic energy, other people's money, a little bit of power in the world, wants to strategize around it, is in this betrayal energy. He's so focused on that, and only on that energy, because it's not fulfilling, it's not sustaining, it's not builder energy. He's completely surrounded by karmics that will not, there's no love lost here. There's no loyalty. All these people are two-faced. And I think it comes off very, again, I'm seeing that two-faced nature of Gemini. So again, they might be very socially adept or whatever, but there's an equal, these people will make sure that he doesn't receive what he should be receiving. He's going to have to, I just heard something leads to violent ends. Violent means leads to violent ends or something like that. But I feel like he may have to like really, it might be very difficult to get out of the situation that he's got himself in, because the contracts that he signed, and he really underestimated people here that he's involved with. Again, he's right back where he started. He does not get to outrun this. He needs to confront it at the root, which is his own insecurity, and maybe feeling financial lack rather than trying to steal it from somebody else. But then he's going to build it from the ground up. I feel like that was always his karmic lesson. So he's right back where he started, feeling like very anxious. And yeah, this is all like a part of his karmic lesson, because now you're at a distance. He stalled things on purpose. I am seeing the hangman energy kind of be weaponized here. So, and now he's at a distance, and I think he was expecting you to send him a message, like in desperation or something, or at least like buttering you up for him to. He wanted you to see his cup as the highest cup. I think this man was even okay with you being betrayed here by people that were unsafe for you to be around. He didn't want to prevent it. He saw it coming and he could have prevented it. And instead he wanted you to accept his lowball offer. That's what was going on here. So I just want you to see that very clearly about this guy. This is your message, that this is not a safe person. He wants to act like he's your shield, your sword and shield. He wants to act like he's your boundary. He wants to act like he's your protector. But he just feels like things are kind of unfolding the way that they need to unfold. But I feel like it's his turn to cry. And because he's having to face that, following his ego, following his strategy, following this busted root chakra paired up with the mind that thinks it knows everything and can account for every variable inside people that he's dealing with and outside, and that there will be no unintended consequences. I feel like that's, he's lived a life of unintended consequences. That's what I'm getting. I think a lot pops off around this masculine, like many a tower moment, and it always catches him by surprise, and it really shouldn't. And I do think it comes off as a type of like ignorance, but it's ego defense mechanisms, because there's just something that he's not willing to look at about himself, which is that he doesn't feel like he can make it on his own, and he's unwilling to try, and he doesn't view vulnerability as strength. And he won't view vulnerability as strength, and he definitely shouldn't with the people that he's around, because these are betrayers. If he drops his guard around these people, so it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. He's around karmics, and he's got to break the back of this karmic cycle, see it for what it is. Because if he was around you, and probably friends that you have, if he wasn't trying to surround you with gross people, then he could be himself. He could drop his guard and it would be totally fine. And he would actually get the help that he needs and the support and the comfort. And he'd situate himself correctly. He'd get his root in correctly, in the ground correctly is what I'm getting, which is going to calm him down and it's going to calm you down. But he's not participating well in this stance. So I think he tried to make you feel anxious in the situation, and instead he's feeling anxious. You might have gone through some kind of difficult time here. But that's not your nature, and these are not your soulmates, and you naturally would not be around. These people have only crept in because you have this soulmate connection with this masculine, And this is a broken masculine, so his energy is not even providing that astral barrier of protection because he's split in two. So he's not even committed fully to being your masculine, being a good person, being a soulmate energy, and building his own way in the world. He's not even committed to those things, which allows for these people, these kind of barnacles, to sort of creep in, and that's what's happened. So it's this is not like your karma that you've been around. I think you just have to sense that he's not the guy that he's presenting as. He's not the guy you once knew, because again, there's past life energy here, which is probably making this situation very confused. You're having to learn that sometimes you need to defend yourself against people that you maybe love very much, or you sense, there's something. I think one of your karmic lessons is this Queen of Cups energy, that nobody gets to just fuck with your emotions, right? Like they're off limits, like you're very self-contained within yourself. That's definitely something you're learning. But you're also learning Gemini lessons here. Because this masculine and all this baggage that he brings, it's negative Gemini energy. And Gemini is yes and energy. So I think you've got to look at him and potentially these friends that he's put around you or sees our problems. He sees their two-facedness and he didn't warn you, and he's not going to protect you because he doesn't find it strategic. Oh, this is making me so mad. I hope he gets rocked in the mouth. Anyways, that was rude. But honestly, I feel like that's the best thing that could happen to him. It's really coming from a good place, but anyways, it's that, yes, this masculine is your soulmate. Yes, there's a lot of love between the two of you. And also he's decrepit in his soul. He's fallen. He's a bad person. And he surrounds himself with bad people that encourage those negative things. I feel like I almost feel that he's psychic. You might be feeling this masculine around you, because I also feel like he's trying to trick you. Like, why? Tell me why he always has to like lead with tricks. Because I feel like this is like very magician, high priestess kind of thing. Because I almost feel like when I'm speaking this message, like he is responding in real time. Like I'm seeing him crying, and it feels like it's coming from a real place. Again, it's very confusing, the energy that comes off of him, because it's like the emotions are real. And I think it's just the fact that he's not connected to his emotions. And he wasn't in the past. And I feel like losing you might be what he needs to connect in his heart space. And it would be a rude awakening, because he's going to have to realize that he's an asshole. And he's got to cry over that. And I think he's going to have to realize that he's gotten himself in a real situation that I just heard making mountains out of molehills. So there's a psychological issue here. And again, I think there's a spiritual basis for this. Obviously, I'm not like a doctor. I'm not diagnosing anyone. But I feel like this is a soul that is split on an energetic level because they fell in a past life. They betrayed you in a past life. It created a soul level trauma for both of you. I think it might have involved a child. I think he tries to make you laugh over this, or it's not funny. It was a trauma, and it's created a samskara in both of your energy fields, but his soul remains split. This is a very ambivalent soul because he hasn't decided who he wants to be, and in part it's because he doesn't think he can make it on his own. And he's kind of scared. He's a coward, and this has been coming out in the readings. Cowardice equals cruelty. It's crazy because I feel like almost as I'm speaking into this space, there's like maybe a strong astral connection here, because I literally see his energy shifting and changing like as I'm speaking over him. Like as I'm telling him exactly what, word for word, what he did, where he misstepped, who he is. And it's just a strong mirror. Maybe we're holding hands and like on the astral and just being like, this is exactly who you are. This is what you did. This is what you amount to. It's like what he needs to actually like jumpstart his heart energy, because he's just been separated from that. And you know his heart, like from past lives or from this life, you know his heart. That's where you live. That's where you dwell. And you got kicked out of there as soon as he decided he was going to shut that down for business. And instead he wanted to deal with a busted root chakra. So in the past life, and maybe this occurred in this life too, he got involved with like a group of people here that maybe he was intimidated by. He saw their like ostentatious displays of wealth. It made him, it exacerbated like an insecurity that was already there. And then they were like snake oil salesmen. Like, do you want this? Like, well, all you have to do is debase yourself in every known way. Like turn him away from morality. But when you get a glimpse of his heart space, you love it because that's where you live. That's where your connection is. I actually feel like it's solar plexus heart space. There might be a lot of zhuzh here between the two of you. There might be a lot of pizzazz, a lot of, it's very playful and romantic and loving in a mature way, like the energy here between the two of you. But he cut himself off because for some reason in the past that just wasn't good enough for him. And he didn't want to go the slow, steady route. I just heard Ricky Bobby, I want to go fast, which is devil energy. He had just left him wide open to this devil energy, and he has not yet made his decision. Even still, he has not yet made his decision to separate out from the devil energy. He keeps re-upping the contract with the devil is what I'm getting. And as soon as he gets what the devil promised, that's when the rug gets pulled. He remains surprised every time he gets betrayed, every time something doesn't go to plan. And it's because Spirit is trying to teach this man that strategizing isn't the way. That's not what life is about. Life is about an alchemy. Life is about flowing with the Tao. This masculine has a strong energy. He needs to surrender to love. He needs to surrender to the heart energies. That's how you navigate that energy. And I just heard Selena Gomez, the heart wants what it wants. Now, this is a man, because he's been blocked off from his heart chakra. He does things, and this group of people that he's surrounded by, there's so many of them. They do things that you and I do as well, right? So they date, they form relationships, they have families. And while they're going about those pursuits, they use the same language that you and I would use. Love, romance, marriage, family, values. But it comes from a completely different place. This is not heart chakra energy. We associate all those things with the heart chakra. These are people that use those things to bolster their status. It comes from a very hollow, voided out place. All of this has been put together. It's the same things that, healthier people build from that soul, with their soulmates, and from a genuine soul place, and in accordance with the divine plan, because the divine speaks through the heart. But these people, it's all the lust energy. It's that busted root chakra energy. So these people lust after things where they feel most insecure. So this masculine is lusting after something here because he feels insecure about money and status and maybe schmegully. And so he's trying to partner up with people he sees as being strong. And he thinks that is his heart, because he's completely separate from his heart. And that's why it can rival you as heart space energy. Once he sees it clearly that it's a lust, it's a greed, it's a selfishness that comes from a deep insecurity, then he can start to work on that insecurity. Okay? This is a masculine that may have thought his twin flame or his destiny energy was over here with somebody that represents those kinds of things. The material gains, and then maybe got confused about who was like a soulmate or who was, because he's so that's how cut off he is from literally every other chakra except for his root chakra that's inflamed and it's connected to his mind. But he might call that his crown chakra. But it's not intuition. It's logic, and it's a logic that is being fed by insecurity and fear and strategy and lust. So it's a strong feeling, but it's a strong feeling that ultimately is coming from how he feels about himself. And it's deeply leading him astray, and it's betraying you. And that strategy tells him that's good, that it's helpful for him to betray you. So he's in a really fucked up place, and you are in danger. And I think he wants to put you in the shadow of his dream. That's where he wants to keep you. And that's what he thinks he feels is appropriate. That way he can get things that he should be able to go get on his own. So it's codependent here as well. That's what all this is built off of. Well, this person must be my twin flame because I can't provide for myself. I don't have a job unless they're in my life. And so God, LOL, must want me to be with this person. Well, baby, somebody wants you to be with that person, but I think it's the other guy. Because God wants you to be whole and strong, and God wants you to listen to your heart, and God wants you to lead with love. And honey, this ain't it. And he's got to learn that. And it's through a series of tower moments. He's always betrayed. He always gets the short end of the stick. He's controlled. He's always outmaneuvered. And he always gets right back to the place that he was trying to avoid to begin with, which is an anxiety about job, an anxiety about assets, an anxiety about routine and where he's going to live or something like that. Because that's probably always held over his head over here, because that's what he's gifted. But he's gifted under, maybe it requires his secrecy, or there was guile here. He was lured, and there was intentionality, and there was strategy behind it. And what they offered this man, if this was a job, or even if this is some kind of an arrangement, all of it was thought through. All of it was thought through to make sure that he didn't get, that he stayed on his knees in some way. That he always was kind of in a subservient position. So it's always going to bring him right back around until he can confront this, because that's the karmic spot he needs to confront within himself, is his own insecurity, his own weakness on a material level. And I think you were a gift from the divine. You were an assist. Both of you were meant to assist each other. I mean, I think this man can see some very negative energies around you. Tell me why he left you wide open. And honestly, him leaving you wide open might have been what Spirit just yanked it. I just heard, we out here yanking on the devil. These haters mad because they can't get on my level. Hey, that's you. You out here yanking on the devil. So you've made a lot of spiritual progress. Spirit is saying this is a functioning dysfunction. Spirit has separated you out here. You are going to have some, once you move away from this and you start to put boundaries up, and don't let this masculine come like popping back into your material space. I think he needs to be alone. You master that space of hermit energy and being alone. He feels alone in whatever situation he's in, because he's surrounded by betrayers that will outmaneuver him at every turn. And it'll always come down to that. And every time that they're nice to him, or make them feel like they're friendly, they have a backdoor deal with somebody else, or they will always look after their own needs above him. He will continue to get betrayed. He will continue to be surprised. He has no right to do that. It's all because he cannot face what he's done and who he has been with. So he's going to keep being surprised. But I mean, if you just pull back and look at this, and there's a real control of what he is working on, or what he is allowed to look at here as well. They keep him busy, or they put maybe mundane things in front of him so that he can't consider the bigger picture, because putting all of this in context, it's pretty obvious that he's getting the short end of the stick, and it's just going to keep happening because that's the nature of who he's around. But again, he's so focused. Everybody here in this karmic situation that he's involved in is two-faced, okay? But it's hierarchical, and the people that are on top of the hierarchy, they actually know that they're two-faced, and that everyone else is as well. They know that, and it gives them no qualms, and they're the ones that kind of play into that. The people who kind of hold the purse strings here in these dynamics, him and others like him that have been drawn into this karmic web, they know that they're two-faced, but they are uncomfortable with it, and they are so busy trying to manage that two-faced nature. I just heard their own hypocrisy on a psychological level, and as well as out in the world, and trying to maybe at work or something act like everything is fine, or that they aren't able to pay as much attention to the real maneuvers that are going on here with these people. And that's why they'll never get free. He needs to bust out of it. But I feel like it's gonna, I just heard like a pound of flesh. Like it's like they've got him so wrapped up like with barbed wire and stuff that it's almost like he's got to rip his own flesh almost to get out of it. It's going to hurt, and he's going to take some time to heal. And all of this may be karmic as well. This could have been what this masculine did to you. He was perfectly fine somebody else taking a pound of flesh out of you, so long as it got him. So see how he's in the same energy that these other people were in. So now somebody's done it to him. Like there's some kind of karmic pay, some kind of karmic return. He's being treated the same way that he treated you. The divine is not stepping in. He has to overcome this major hurdle. He's also outside of the reach of the divine. And I mean that in the sense that he's not cooperating with divine forces. So he needs to get back in alignment with the divine if he wants divine assistance. And that's not the divine being controlling. It's just that he stepped into the shadow. He needs to come back to the light if he would like for the light to shine upon him and warm him and heal him, and guide him. He needs to go towards that light energy. Yeah, in a way it's like he can see where the light is. He just needs to go over and be with the light, and then get back in alignment that way. But I think there might be a money situation, because this is where his soul is stuck in this energy. He has to confront that. And I think he's got to confront it alone now, because there was a boon energy in working with you. There was assistance, there was teamwork, there was cooperation. There was that feeling of the wind being at his back. But you are moving on, change of pace, change of place. This is some kind of new location energy, strong boundaries, doing it the way you know how to do it best, going independent in some capacity, building something up slowly. You might work your way up to a position of prominence here. And I think when he looks over into your space, it's going to be the shock of his life that you didn't stay down the way that he thought you would, that you overcame every obstacle, and that you're thriving even more than he could have imagined. And I think in some way you are his dream, but you're living his dream. But he didn't know that was his dream because he was so disconnected from the heart space, because he was too busy scheming, living a double life, and trying to nurture his insecurities through strategy and karmics. That's friends, two-faced friends. This is also a man, I think, who sleeps with friends. Like, there's no boundary between, because ultimately he doesn't value friendship. He doesn't value like platonic friendship in his life and having that energy around, which is probably why he so easily levied it against you. And he might have used Schmegs to do that. So, very karmic guy. And I think it breaks your heart because he's your soulmate. And you do know that, and some part of you remembers, but there's been a trauma here. So then it's split you in half. So Spirit is being very delicate in this situation because there is a risk that that you potentially, I don't think you're at risk now. It's like they don't want you to fall the same way that he fell in the past. They don't want your insecurity to make you part. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's not your path. He's become an enemy. He's become like a foe. Somebody that really does need to be opposed in your world. So, didn't have to, but chose to play the role of the karmic is what I'm getting. So, all right. This has been a long reading. That's what I have. If that resonates, please protect yourself. You have such a beautiful future, but I feel like this is energetically you're moving away from this masculine. And I feel like if you keep going, you have a lot of blessings that are coming in. You have very good karmas. A lot wants to like bloom up and through you, but your guide's spirit, it can only come in when it's like safe and protected. And so long as this man is in your world in this kind of energy, it's not safe and protected. And so it can't come through. So the more you move away, the more you put up boundaries, and potentially they're going to get another partner in here who is that strong protector energy. And now all of a sudden that spiritual energy can really take root. And that's where you're going to spend your time. You're going to build your own Garden of Eden here. And he's definitely an outcast and like left on the outskirts. And he's left to cope with what it is that he did. Because he is going to wake up to himself, I think, eventually. And realize just how ridiculous he's been and cold. And he's an asshole. In no uncertain terms, I feel this man is an asshole and has been an asshole to you. And needs, cold water thrown on him. Needs a quick slap. I mean, he needs to snap out of it. Anyways, that's what I have for you. If that resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.